Yeah, so Sam will be kind of day-to-day right now. Just had a little issue yesterday. Obviously, it wasn't anything significant, and so he'll just be limited or out for a couple of days this week. Not yet sure. Same for Trey. Trey's been day-to-day since something that popped up day one in practice when he got run into. So we just continue to take him day-to-day too. Yeah, yeah. I don't think I have to disclose that, so I'm not going to. Yep, same plan.
At this point, 4 days in their practice, are you willing to call it a hold-in based off his contract situation?
I feel good about how we've communicated. He and I have been on the same page with everything he's done. I've been pleased with his interaction with his teammates and helping some of these young guys. So again, he and I are on the same page. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, critical. It's one thing for the coaches to be telling you something, and it's another thing when it's veteran players, which at this point, Jamar, T, those guys are veteran players. And so they've taken on that role. They've done a great job with it. There's competition in that room, but guys also want the best for each other, and they understand that, we're going to need everybody to play up to their potential for us to be successful. And so I appreciate that about Jamar, T, and then veterans at other positions as well. I felt like he was mature when he came in. It's just very raw from playing in the Ivy League to playing in the AFC North. And that's not his fault. That's just, it is what it is, playing at that level against some of the DBs you're going to face. And then you go into this division, and it's obviously very different. And you're at our practices with our guys is very different. So I think for time, that's just experience, and just experiencing that over the last 12 months. And then him being able to go in the off season kind of with an understanding of, okay, here's what I'm facing. Here's what this world is like. And being able to work with Troy, being able to work on his own in the off season and come back ready to compete and know what's not what we expect of him, but just what is expected from a defensive perspective. He's really grown that way. And that's not to say it was poor. It's just you learn that through experience.
What have you seen from the competitiveness between T and Zac yesterday, for instance, and the DBs and the wide receivers in general?
Yeah, very talented athletes, going full speed. And so I think it's really good, healthy competition. They're making each other better. It's good to see both sides making plays. As a head coach, I always like to see a little bit of both, and so that's been good, healthy stuff.
Have you ever been on a pro team with three partners, and how do you see the thing unfold? How do you see it shaking out? As far as guys getting reps.
Okay, do you want the real answer? When I was coaching quarterbacks, I probably couldn't have told you how many specialists we had. I was focused on, during special teams, we'd be over there in our own world doing the throws. So, like, the one area that's not really watching special teams during practice is the quarterbacks. And so that was predominantly my world for I don't know how many years. And so I can't answer that question for you. But we got three that are exciting to watch, and so I think it's worth having them right now. It's a 90-man roster. We were at 87 when we signed, a corner, a receiver, and a punter. And all three punters are guys that we had high opinions of. And so able to get them all on the same roster and they're all willing to compete with each other is good for us. It's maybe not something that can go on all training camp, but I think for the time being, it's a great opportunity for us to let these guys compete. And, that's been really good so far.
What are your early thoughts or observations on running back
Today, it's not a battle right now. That will come with the pads, and that comes as things shake out. Right now, it's a lot of confidence in that group overall. And once you put the pads on, and it's real protection, and it's real getting to your checkdowns, it's real hitting the right hole in the run game. That's when it really ramps up. And so right now, it's just getting everybody up to speed so that when pads do come on tomorrow, we're all ready to compete for real. And so I'm really excited about that room. I would say that room through the first several practices has been what I was hoping to see. So that's been really good. I think Justin Hill's done a great job with that group, and so I am excited to see once the pads come on if they can continue to sustain that.
What did Andre show you guys to think that you could be in a slot? I know it's still early, but what did you see from him?
Yeah. I think it just allows it's going to allow flexibility with him because he'd been predominantly year one. Sometimes it is easier for those guys to come in and play outside. That's just you can learn the offense that way, and then as you get more comfortable with it, you can move inside because you understand all the concepts better. And so with a big target, we've always been TB had just always been the slot for us. And so now that TB's not here, it allows you to experiment a little bit more with how we want to utilize everybody. And so again, Andre's seen a lot of that tape. He knows what the expectation is. There was a lot of nuance there that TB was unbelievable at. That's why he majored in there. And so to see Andre continue to learn with every rep, because he is learning with every rep, and he can also learn from Ti. Ti's predominantly played in there, and so you can learn from him as well. And so I think it's just been really good for us to have that flexibility to have him in there. Limited. He'll be limited going forward. How much he does today remains to be seen. We'll kind of take it day to day as he gets out there, and again, that's something we just got to listen to the trainers on and manage him and not do anything too much too fast.
Is it a strength issue? What is it a matter of at this point?
Cam Taylor Britt
Yeah.
with the tonsils.
Right. But
I don't know. Is that a strength thing?
his conditioning, whatever.
I feel out of my element answering this question, so I'm going to pass.
With how long yesterday, it seemed like he wasn't doing a lot.
Yeah, there's several guys. So, and you'll see several guys today not do a lot. So yesterday was Vaughn's day. Mike Hilton, for example, today. Logan today. A couple of the offensive linemen. So you'll see several guys today. Again, everything is really ramping up to tomorrow. And tomorrow the expectation is, the guys that are healthy will go. And so, but we've these last 2 days, yesterday and today, there's been a plan in place for a lot of guys. So Joe, today we've managed it into the plan today with Joe. And so if you're charting Joe's throws today, you'll be disappointed because there won't be a lot of them. But it was, instead of giving him the day off completely, we were able to really structure practice to where it is a half day off kind of.
So will he throw tomorrow?
There will be a period at the end of practice where he doesn't go, and that's designed.
So will he throw tomorrow? And then
Yes.
What is the rest of the week look like? You have Thursday, Friday?
Yeah, so really there will be times where we limit him as training camp goes because we're only in 2-day stretches. The priority was the first 3 days. He's off the third day. The second 3 days, let's proactive with how we structure practice to where he's still able to get in there and do some things, but we're not really throwing him down the field. Again, he feels great. There's nothing he's communicating that's otherwise. He feels outstanding. It's just being proactive with a long training camp, understanding he didn't get any practices in August last year, and so trying to do right by our team and protect him a little bit from himself, from feeling good and pushing it too much. But he's been great, and he'll practice today. He'll practice tomorrow.
Besides the feedback he's giving you,
Feedback is just, I feel great. That's the feedback he's given us.
aside from that, are there other things that y'all are looking at to kind of gauge how he's looking?
No, I mean, everything to the naked eye looks good. Everything throwing, he's the same guy I always knew. These are things we've talked about weeks ago with the training staff and our coaching staff, and including Joe as we got closer to training camp. And so we're all on the same page. Everything's been good. And again, we know once you get through these first 2 weeks, all the questions about guys practicing, once you get into the meat of training camp, you start playing these games, everyone forgets about it. And there's just not much to talk about right now. So these are the things that get emphasized. I understand that. But once we actually start playing these games and battles really start taking place, there's more exciting things to talk about, I promise you. And I know you all understand that.
With what you're talking about there in terms of snaps being available, I mean, we've got been days for guys injured,
Mhm.
just maybe snaps become available for guys that are thirsty for those opportunities.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that's caught your eye with those additional snaps?
I'm not. That's speaking through my own experience. I'm going to be slower to do that. Once we put the pads on, it really shows up, and so I much better feel, as we get through this week on guys that, right now I think are really stepping up and doing a nice job. But let's see them be consistent when practice really starts happening, and then maybe you can circle back to that question like Monday or Tuesday, and I'll give you a different answer.
Eric Hall said yesterday, Zach, that he
There's a part of that. So, yeah, from a health standpoint, he's cleared, and there's still some things from a medical standpoint he can do to continue to strengthen it. So part of the plan is clearing him, so now he's able to take walkthrough reps and the above the neck stuff. Instead of standing back there by James, he can actually get in there on some of the walkthrough stuff and jog through stuff, and as part of his rehab, get in on the routes on air. But we'll be very slow to put him in any contact situation. That may be, who knows? I'm not going to put a timeline on that, but that's probably closer to what he's thinking and talking about. He's never been through this before, so we just wanted to get him involved so he can start really stressing the mental side of things, and because it is different, obviously from college to pro, and so we wanted to start challenging him that way.
Zach, 6 teams drafted quarterbacks early in the first round this year, and no decisions made on when that quarterback's ready. You've been through that situation of deciding. How do you know when a rookie quarterback's ready? And if you were to think of a couple things that it's like, hey, we need to see this, what's that for?
Very, very different. I mean, every team is in a different situation with their backup quarterback, with the way their team's structured, with what they've done in the offseason training camp. Ours was unique. We had the number 1 pick in the draft, so we got the best player. And number 2, it was COVID, and we didn't start practicing until August 15th. So we had to make a decision. We're going all in with Joe. And, yeah, we hadn't physically seen him in an NFL training camp by the time we said he's the starter. That was just a decision we made, and it worked out for us. It's not – I can't speak for the other teams, the process they have to go through. There's a lot of decisions that have to be made there, and that's not my problem.
You talk about the decision to be made at Punter. How much of that is strictly charting and numbers versus feel and experience in the league, and how much does preseason come?
Preseason helps. I rely on Darren for that. Darren's got the experience there. I don't, and so again, that's something he and I talk through every day. But again, at the end of the day, I trust his experience and his knowledge and what he's trying to get out of those guys in practice. And because there's plenty of times where you're watching and you may think something in regards to a special teams play when he's directing that. That's what he's trying to get out of the play. And so I'm the same way sometimes. So I just trust that we'll let this competition take shape over some time, several weeks, and we'll see how that plays out. Paul liked that. Paul got it. Paul was the first one to get it.
You haven't quite had the full defense out there yet, but just any differences or characteristics you're noticing specifically about what the 2024 defense is?
The communication's been really sharp, and that's just there's a lot of veterans in that first 11 that you're talking about, and so almost all veterans, right? And you got some young corners competing out there, but Geno Stone in his 5th year, Vaughn in his whatever year, all of our linebackers are back. Mike Hilton, the front 4 guys are all veteran players. So they're on the same page with verbal, nonverbal. I mean, they're one step ahead a lot of times on what scheme is coming at them. So I would say, and that's not a knock on anybody. It's just when you add 2 veteran safeties that have played a ton of NFL football on the back end, that's what shifts everything forward. And so that's been fun to see.
I'm not as smart as Paul, but help me out here. I think are the pads come on tomorrow, right?
I don't know where that shot. I was laughing because I said several, and I think he picked up on several. Can mean a lot of different things right now based on last year. But pads come on for us tomorrow.
And I just wondered if you had tweaked anything down, off of last year.
Well, it's our ramp up has been a little different from last year. Typically, we were 4 days in a row, day off, and then got into this week. This year, we went 3 on and 1 off, and part of that was scheduling in the stadium and things like that. So that part is a little bit tweaked to where I find myself having to manage these 3 days that we have in this pocket right here. That's why we're giving some of the veterans some time. Everything leads up to tomorrow. So today will not be our longest day. Today will be a relatively short day and get some good work with some of the younger guys, and then tomorrow everyone's ramping up and putting on the pads.
Logistically, Zach, how much are you looking forward to having everyone in the same locker room when it opens?
It is. I can't wait for the lock. I mean, I've seen it. I go in there often. It's unbelievable. Players are going to love it. Logistically, is going to be very helpful, just for guys in the training room and going to meetings and leaving their stuff. And for them to get it done as quickly as they did. I originally thought it was really going to be leading into probably the first week of the season or the end of August. So hats off to everybody involved to get it done, before August. This is technically, what is today? The 30th? Oh, yeah. So it'll be done in July, which is unbelievable. And I'm excited for everybody to be able to see that.
What was your first thought when you saw it?
More than I anticipated. Really.
In general,
I think the college part's gone at this point. You know, they've played 3 years together in the NFL, so they've gotten plenty of reps. I don't think there's ever a time you can put on it. There's always new routes and new adjustments that are good to get together, but I think if anybody has a healthy relationship with the quarterback and they're on the same page and always talking, it's Joe and Jamar and T, and so again, I think we're in good shape there.
How intriguing is the depth in the tight end group?
It's a good group. It's fun to watch. You know, and there's 6 guys in there that all are intriguing for a lot of different reasons. They all have their strengths. They all complement each other very well. You know, so you draft Eric and Tanner, and Cam Grandy is, in my mind, a tremendous undrafted free agent pickup, you know, and very smart guy and more of a Y than an F. But so I think it's a really good group. James does a good job managing those guys. It gives you an opportunity to use different guys for different reasons in 11, 12, 13, and really explore everything you can do with that personnel. Say that again. You're not going to get a lot of opportunities during the season, so you take advantage of it. So, you know, it would be great in my mind if it rains today, hard, because you never know. You might just – week 1 last year at Cleveland was as much rain as I've ever dealt with in my career. And you don't get a chance to really practice that. You might luckily get one day you get to do that. So I think you got to maximize – lightning obviously affects everything for us, but – we have to maximize our opportunity. This might be the only time all year, and we might be playing in a playoff game. That's the next time we play in rain or sleet or anything like that. So I've just learned you got to take advantage of it when you can.
What is Jamar's involvement like? I mean, we see him on the field. That's what we see. I know there's a lot more to it than just that. What is his involvement like in the times that we're not seeing him?
Same as it's always been. Same as it's always been. Very aware, very engaged. Same as it's always been. Good, positive. That's a great question. He and I have talked through it, and we'll just continue to stick with our plan. My brother is killing me for my plan. He wants to know my plan.
What about Trent Brown? Is he opposed to see?
A couple more days. Good progress. Everything's good. Again, another veteran that we don't feel like we need to rush into anything. And so we're all on the same page with that. He's done a good job doing the things he can control right now, and you wouldn't see him tomorrow. Probably not the next stretch of practices, but it's possible. But I would say right now my gut would tell me we'd probably give him a couple more practices out and then work him back in. No, he'll call me out though. It's always been like that, you know, whether everyone sees it or not. Again, you're just getting to see him at training camp. You don't get to see the regular season practices where that happens all the time. So I think that's really the answer to that question is you all haven't just been lucky enough to watch him practice as much as I have, you know. And so my memories are always during the season when he's constantly every single play during practice talking through guys, and oftentimes I'm listening to what he's saying because we draw up the routes and how we want them, but the nuance has got to come from the quarterback and the relationship with the receivers and the skill guys. And so that is his ownership. He's earned that. I love the camaraderie and the chemistry that he has with a lot of these guys. And so we watch that evolve naturally, and then we step in sometimes where we need to.
Several months now to be around Zach Moss.
Yeah.
What are your impressions of him?
I really like Zach Moss. Professional, detailed. I really am a fan, you know, and so to see him work in that grouping with those other guys has been good. Again, it's been a good group. They've all, you know, really just talking through our veteran guys, all 4 of those guys have done a really good job meeting the expectations, and then we'll put the pads on, and now the pass protection becomes a big part of it, and the urgency to get out on certain things is critical, and hitting it in phase with the linemen. So that part will be fun to watch.
Every offseason you tweak plays, concepts, you know, not major, maybe just little minor.
Mm-hmm.
Your installation process, though,
It's pretty rapid. Today was a lot, and again, our philosophy is let's get it in. We'll get it in. We'll get a lot of it in. These guys are responsible. A lot of them know it. There are new things, like you mentioned, that are new to everybody, and then it's just everybody trying to get up to speed. So there will be a time where the rookies, they get to catch their breath a little bit in a few days, not yet. And the coaches have been working hard to make sure those guys don't miss a beat and understand the reps they're in, and they're not missing assignments. But it's one thing to just, what you're supposed to do, but really understanding the philosophy or the concept behind it is really the next step. And going back to Andre probably now better understands the whole picture and not just the route that I have. And so that's a big piece that rookies have to graduate to, and that just comes with experience, and different guys hit it at different times, and there's no measuring stick on when it's going to happen for certain guys. Everybody's a little bit different, and each position's a little bit unique.